ठीक है, करें? एक मिनट, ये दीजिए तो। बताइएगा ना। Okay, so let us start today's lecture. So yesterday, before starting, we are going to see what we covered yesterday, right? See, before any lecture, before starting any lecture, it is going to be our practice to revise what we have studied, right, the previous day. Okay, so the topic of yesterday's lecture was the progressive era in USA, right? This was the topic on which we started. And when we talk about the progressive era, basically we need to know about the history of USA, right? We need to know history of USA. So first of all, we talked how USA as a country came into existence, right? How in 1776, very briefly, we discussed about the reasons which were responsible for coming of USA or getting independence to this country from the British colony, right? After that, we saw this country, the moment it was born, there was territorial expansion, okay? And in territorial expansion, obviously, they need to fight war also. That led to first Spain, American Spanish War, in which USA as a country won a decisive victory, right? After that, it occupied Philippines, right? One or two island more it occupied. After that, due to the migration, number one, the first reason was migration from European countries. Why migration? Because there was a rumor in Europe that if you want to find the gold, then this new country, that is USA, that is full of opportunities. Number one. Number two, due to this large scale migration, there was demand of goods and services, right? There was demand of goods and services, and obviously if there was demand of goods and services, then we see that industrial revolution started again in USA, right? Industrial revolution started, and obviously due to migration, population increased, right? Population increased, and it led to problems which comes from urbanization. Okay, see, one thing you need to remember, that the colonies, so this was USA, these 13 colonies which got independence from British, they were basically city governments, or basically cities were there, right? For example, even today, if you will check the map of USA, the eastern part of USA is more developed as compared to middle and western part. In western part, one part is very highly developed. The name is what? California. This is the place from where Vice President of USA she is coming. She is Indian, right? Indian born. Okay. So due to this increasing urbanization, obviously the problems of slum, and obviously that was the era when disease used to spread due to lack of proper sanitary practices in the cities, because medical technology was not that much what today we see, right? So these things led to huge problem in the society. And what were the problems? That was our second focus, right? So problems due to industrialization. Problems due to industrialization. Okay. Problems due to industrialization in USA, right? And when we are talking about problems due to industrialization, we are basically talking from 1815 to 1900. 1850 to 1900, right? So what were the problems? Because for understanding, right, yesterday we understood progressive era. For understanding, see, this is simply a revision, right? This is simply a revision. So in a very brief way, we are going to see all the aspects which we covered yesterday, right? So what were the problems in USA or US due to this industrialization? Number one was long working hours without paid or even holiday. There was no provision of holiday, so a person used to work 14 to 15 hours right from Monday to Sunday. That is, every day they need to work. Number one. Number two, come, right? See, that is why I was simply telling what we covered yesterday. Okay, no problem, just sit. Anna. You have written that answer which I gave you. Give that. I give you one assignment. Explain that. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow you will get this. Okay. So I will just evaluate. Okay. Good handwriting is good. Even presentation is also looking fine. Right. So simply see what I was telling, what we covered yesterday. Right. So I was telling simply what were the problems in USA due to industrialization, right? So the first problem which we saw yesterday was long working hours without any holiday, right? Second, there was prevalence of accidents in the industry, right? One example yesterday I gave you, in which there was hardly any exit. That is why around 120 women died due to fire. Number three, there was problem of child labor. Number four, the problem was related to corporate monopoly or nexus. Right? Then again, these problems were further worsened due to political corruption in the government. And why there was political corruption? Due to one system. That system was spoils system, right? And how spoils system developed? There I told you, when the Constitution of USA was framed, it was assumed that public service is a kind of, it only needs a common sense rather than any expertise, right? And this led to one system that is called spoil system. So these were some of the problems which were which were there, which developed in USA, right? And anything else? Any other problem you can remember? Okay, very good. Problems related to urbanization. Problems related to urbanization, for example, slum, poor sanitary condition, right? Then any other problem? Right? So these were the main problems in, this I wrote. See, this I am telling you yesterday what we covered, right? The same thing, okay? Nothing we started new today. So, and in response to that, some scholars in books, magazines and newspaper, they started writing against this, and they came to be known as what? Progressive thinkers. They came to be known as progressive thinkers. So you people read that Prasad and Prasad? No? Huh? You read that? Acha, you didn't. Please buy that book. No, no problem. है ना? Because today also we are going to cover Woodrow Wilson only. ठीक है? So you have read that? मतलब कुछ अलग लगा? मतलब background you are knowing, so you will feel different. Now you will be able to understand the concept properly. That is why today I carried this book, Prasad and Prasad, right? This one. Edition is old, but this book, see, the problem in public administration also related to book. They will not update. This is very old book. This is, I think, this may be. This is also fourth edition. This is also fourth edition. See this, they will not update anything. Every year you will find same. Only acknowledgement will change, but every year you're not going to find any new thing. You collected this? Okay, good. So today's topic they have given, ये दे दीजिए आप assignment. You wrote assignment? Okay, tomorrow you will get, okay? I will check and give. ठीक है? So when you are getting that book? Tomorrow? ठीक है. Tomorrow is also fine. Okay, so progressive thinkers emerged who opposed these things, right? So the progressive thinkers, number one, they demanded that there should be, industries should be regulated. There should be laws against the corporate nexus or corporate monopoly. Number two, they demanded laws against the slum or the problems which were coming from the urban areas. Number three, they focused on civil service reform. Civil service reform simply means against the spoil system. In many books, you will find that it is written by this term, civil service reformist. In many books, this progressive is also written as reformist thinkers. I think in Prasad and Prasad only this term is written. Okay. Reformist thinker. Reformist thinker basically means progressive era thinkers. Right? Achha, one unique thing I will tell you, I think I forgot that to tell you. Remember one thing, USA is the considered as the first country where we saw democracy in the modern times. Right? USA was the first country where we saw democracy in the modern times. And these problems were coming because the capitalism, remember capitalism, socialism, communism, the capitalism in USA was not controlled properly. So a question can be framed specifically in interview. They can ask, do you think the progressive era thinkers or the reformers were against the capitalism? Right? This I forgot to tell you. Right? So remember that the focus of progressive era thinkers was basically on how to preserve both democracy and capitalism. They didn't demanded change either in the form of government or form of economy. Right? They simply focused on laws and rules which we need to frame simply for controlling the problem which USA as a society, as a economy was facing during that time. Right? Remember this thing, democracy plus capitalism, they wanted to preserve both. Their focus was basically on reforming the economy as well as society. Right? And one point I am also telling you, just don't write that, just remember that. See, one of the disadvantage of this progressive era thinkers, and that is a very big disadvantage, they supported racism in USA. Racial segregation, know that blacks and whites should be separate. Everyone supported. Woodrow Wilson, when he became president, he even promulgated one law which further promoted racial segregation. This is just for the knowledge. In UPSC, I don't think they will ask, but in interview, they can ask this. Okay. So these reformist thinker or progressive era thinkers, when it comes to society or social reform, they didn't focus much. Right? For example, racial segregation, and Woodrow Wilson is one example I gave you. When he became president, he promulgated one law also. Right? So this was going on, and in 1859 one book was published by Charles Darwin, and Charles Darwin proved that human has evolved from ape, and he proved that with the help of evidence and proof, logic. And from there, one assumption in social science started, that any human problem can be solved by scientific reason. Any human problem can be solved by scientific reason. Just write this line. Any human problem. Actually, you have written that. And this same thing came to be known as what? Positivism. Right? And this positivism started promoting one idea, that the traditional methods, old methods, they promote inefficiency, they are of no use today, and we need to develop a new method based on this positivism, and that method should be the best method. Right? this best method came to be known by one term, one best way, or because obviously if you'll develop something from reason or something from logic, something from evidence, the result you are getting, that is going to be the best, right? Remember this one best method or one best way, because classical thinkers in public administration, right, that we are also going to little bit, we will start Taylor, right, their focus is on this only, right? So one scholar was there under this background. He was doing PhD in John Hopkins University. This university is very highly influenced by Heidelberg University of Germany. So the student name was Woodrow Wilson. And he published his journal, his thesis. The name of that thesis was The Study of Administration. Okay? This we covered yesterday. And little bit we saw about Wilson. His father and mother, they immigrated from UK. He was highly influenced by religion, British literature, British history, cameralist. Then the two names I also told you, Edmund Burke and Walter Bigot. One person is political thinker, another one is journalist, very famous journalist. And Richard T. Ely was the person under which Woodrow Wilson was doing PhD, under the supervision of whom this study of administration was written. Right? And why he wrote this? Achha, tell me why he wrote this, the study of administration. This can be asked in the form of question. What he thought, why he is writing. Huh. Okay. No, no, that is fine. Tell me immediate reason. I told you yesterday. I told you yesterday, the political abuses or spoil system which was going in USA during that time and the problems which were coming from this. So he thought that this will be the immediate solution of this problem. What you are saying is also fine. What you are saying is also fine, but that is long term. But this is immediate. You have seen the paper of ethics. Have you seen? So in case studies, UPSC will ask you suggest long term as well as short term solutions to the situation. Hai? So immediate reason is this. So contribution of Woodrow Wilson. Most of the contributions of Woodrow Wilson. So when I say contribution of Woodrow Wilson, what we are talking about? What he wrote in Study of Administration. So first of all, he introduces his study of administration by evolutionary history of state. So number one was, stage one was period of absolute rule. After that, the period was struggle for popular control. This is written in your handout. Yesterday also we covered. Just see handout. This is written. So you are not having. Okay, no problem. This is written in your handout. So you are having. Woodrow Wilson. ठीक है ना? Just keep there. Just see here. Point number 3. 3 contributions of Woodrow Wilson. Evolution of state, period of absolute rule, then struggle for popular control, then era of popular control. Era of popular control simply means he talked about now we have achieved democracy. Since this is era of popular control, so focus should be on administration, and administration should be studied in the form of science. Science means what? What Charles Darwin was saying, right? In many books, you will find administrative science. In many books, it is written that Woodrow Wilson wanted to study administration or wanted to make administrative science. Okay? Meaning is same, what I am telling you, and in some books this term is written, so you don't need to get confused, right? Number 3, right? Woodrow Wilson says that this administrative science should be studied for making administration what? Efficient, economical, and effective. And this idea he got from where? Private industry. No. How Darwin, you tell? मतलब डार्विन का तो कोई लिंक ही नहीं है है ना? He got this idea from private administration or business administration, right? That is why in many books people have written that Woodrow Wilson wanted to make administration as like business, but remember that that is not possible because Woodrow Wilson was also one of the scholars from progressive era, and all the progressive era thinkers were against the corporate or private sector monopoly on the economy. So this argument is even not possible, even one can't think. Right? This is very famous question of UPSC that Woodrow Wilson wanted to make administration business-like. That is not possible. Right? Because he belonged to progressive era and he was from that group which were against the corporate monopoly. Right? After that, I told you, Woodrow Wilson argues that characteristic of politics is very different from characteristics of administration. Yesterday I told you this. Later on, this came to be known as what? Politics administration dichotomy. Politics P/A/A dichotomy. Right? Later on, today it stands rejected. Right? For example, with example I told you, it is ultimately the political executive who is taking the final decision. Right? Today it is accepted that, write this thing, today it is accepted that politics, today it is accepted that politics is concerned with formulation of any policy. For example, Manrega. And administration is concerned with implementation of the same policy. Implementation of the same policy. So when Manrega was made, there is a provision in Manrega that every day around 150 rupees will be given. Now who made that? Who made that law? Bureaucracy made that law. Who made? Politicians, legislature, they made law. And who are implementing that? Executive or bureaucracy, either they are Lower level bureaucracy, for example, block development officer. In Manrega, you have also project officer, field officer, right? Then you have secretary. So everyone is involved basically in implementation of those laws, but it is ultimately this part, that is politics, which is the main vehicle for designing any policy. Hmm? No, no, no. See, Gram Panchayat, how? See, question is very good. No, no, question is very good. Question is very good, but this is how you will get confused. लेकिन question बहुत अच्छा है, that I will tell you. Okay. Now tell me what you are saying. Okay. So you is the head of Gram Sabha or Gram Panchayat, Sarpanch. Sarpanch is the head. Have you heard this village Panchayat secretary? Huh? Panchayat secretary. So politics is Sarpanch elected by people. When it comes to implementation, he is the person who is responsible for implementation. He is appointed by government. In some state, district government appoints them. For example, Maharashtra. In some state, state government is appointing them. For example, Madhya Pradesh. So he is elected by people and he is appointed by government. Now you are telling that Sarpanch is involved in policy implementation. So what this guy is doing? नहीं है involved, है ना? But he supervises that. That is true. He supervises that. हाँ, पंचायत secretary. You are from which state? अच्छा, Bihar. Have you heard this post? Village Development Officer. Huh? These in some states they are known as VDO, Village Development, not BDO, Block Development. No, I'm talking about VDO, Village Development Officer. है ना? I think recently in Uttar Pradesh, some 2 days before, there was exam of this, and some 20 lakh people gave the exam for around 400 seats. Okay, so this post is very important at the lower level. See, in reality, that we are going to cover in paper 2. In reality, you know what is happening. Sarpanch is basically of one village, right? But Panchayat secretary, he is secretary of around 12 to 15 villages in UP. In MP, you will find one secretary is responsible for handling 5-6 villages. Huh? In same 5-6 villages. No, no, not population, because there is vacancy of this post, huge vacancy. There, there is one committee, Baswan committee. Baswan committee says that in one state, that is Uttar Pradesh only, 2000 vacant IAS posts are there. IAS post, IAS, All India Service. 2000 posts are vacant only in Uttar Pradesh. See, government is not recruiting that much people. You may be hearing that one person is responsible for handling, one secretary is also secretary of health, he is also secretary of youth affairs, he is also secretary of Panchayat Raj, 4-5 ministries he is handling. Why this person is handling 4-5 ministries rather than he should handle one? In both paper 1 and paper 2 will cover this. Why? Because there is lots of vacancies. Government is simply not recruiting people. Why? Why government is not recruiting? No, no. One of the main reason is related to finance. One of the main reason is money. Government today does not have that much money, right? Because if you are recruiting someone, okay, so first you need to give him salary, medical and everything, and when he will retire, then also you see, I'm telling you about group C, okay? The moment government is hiring someone, so you need to assume that 5 crore is gone. Because around for 30 years you will pay him salary, okay? Then medical, this benefit, that benefit. Then when he will retire, around 50 lakh or 1 crore, whatever they are giving. So this 5 crore is immediately it is gone. One unique case I will tell, one very unique thing I will tell you about one state. In your state, what is the age of retirement age for Group C people? 60 in your state? Huh? 63. See, Madhya Pradesh, what happened around 6 years ago, 6 to 7 years ago. So around 3 lakh people were retiring in their 60, that is in the age in which usually people retire. But the government was not having that much money. So first they increased the age from 60 to 62. This was about Group C, I am telling you. So the hierarchy is like this. So here Group A, very less people. That you know, means the number is very less. Okay. Group B is here. Group C is here. So obviously lots of people. So in Madhya Pradesh, they increased the age to retirement age to 62 years. Again after 2 years, the number increased from 2 lakh to around 6-7 lakh. Why? Because 2 year also add 2 years number. So what they have done, they further increased this age to 65. So same thing now, because money is not there. You may be finding, you may be like many people are protesting that why government is not recruiting both at the state level as well as the central level. The main reason responsible for this is money. They are not having money. Because what happened in COVID due to lockdown, it was a big challenge for managing money because you know that hardly any activity was going on. Hardly any activity was going on. Everything was closed. So from where taxes will come? Obviously. So every government, state and central government, they got impacted by this, and today that is the impact we can clearly see in the form of very less recruitment starting from Group D to Group A. Group A, they can't stop without Group A, country can't run. Right? Politicians, they are very good in politics, but day-to-day file work they can't do. Right? That is why Group A service, that is UPSC or civil service, always there will be vacancy every year, 1,800, 900 every year. You need at least 200 IAS, 200 IPS, you need every year. Okay? BAS1 committee will cover in paper 2. Very interesting. If you'll read that, then you will feel that BAS1 committee has even recommended that there should be no optional in mains. Rather, it recommended that public administration should be included in one new paper, that is General Studies paper 5. Public administration and public law. And it is high chance that after 2-3 years, this recommendation may be implemented. Then everyone needs to study one optional, that is public administration. Okay, because the moment you are getting selected, you will go to Mussoorie. Continuously for 6 years, they will teach you public administration. Sorry, 6 months. Okay, then what will happen? After 2-3 years, again training will be there. You will study public administration. After 12 years, again there will be training. You will study public administration. Many people are even going to Harvard University. That is called study leave. There also you will study public administration. Right? Because IAS is what? Public administration. Right? Public administration. IAS is a mechanism for doing service. Okay. So number 2 was administrative science. Number 3, I told you why he wanted to study that. Influenced by Charles Darwin, he wanted to make administration economical, efficient, right, as well as effective, right? Then public administration dichotomy. Number 5, I think I forgot to tell you public opinion. Relation between administration and public opinion. So what is the relation between public opinion and administration? Can you give example? No, I am asking in general. Usually people are having good opinion about administration or bad opinion? Bad opinion. People see politician and as well as bureaucrats as corrupt. Right? There are some bureaucrats, no doubt, there are some bureaucrats, even some politicians who enjoys very good rapport and standing among the public. But in general, there is a negative feeling towards bureaucracy. Right? You people are on Twitter, social media. Huh? You just see many negatives among people toward the civil service. And for these things, civil service is also kind of responsible. You can't blame people. They are also responsible. How they are responsible, we are going to cover in paper 2 also. But it is advisable when you are preparing, stay away from social media. Not much use, only waste of time. Woodrow Wilson very interestingly says that administration, right? Administration should listen to the public opinion, but it should filter their view because every time it is not necessary that what is the public opinion is correct. Right? For example, some 1 month before, I will not name the district collector. So in Madhya Pradesh, I will give lots of example of Madhya Pradesh. Huh? No, I will tell you. I will give you lots of example of Madhya Pradesh simply for understanding because I am very much attached to that state. And I am from UP, but I work with Madhya Pradesh government in some other capacity. So very much involved. So lots of example I will give you from real time Madhya Pradesh. What is happening there? Okay. In public policy, I am involved with them. So that is why I will give you again and again. So every day these examples I am seeing there. So one district collector was there. Okay. So Jan Sunwai you may be knowing. Jan Sunwai. Jan Sunwai means a district collector, let us say on Friday, he will sit from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Anyone can come and simply in office, they can meet the collector and just give one complaint. Okay, you can meet that. So the person started shouting on district collector. the person who came for grievance, he started shouting on that district collector, that particular district collector, that you people are corrupt, this and that, this and that. So after listening, after 4 to 5 minutes, collector little bit, he also became angry, right? That is normal human behavior. But that clip became viral in news and people started abusing collector. But in this case, the conduct of collector was good. Matlab, see, you can't expect that he will listen whatever you are saying. And at least person should not shout on that collector, right? But the public opinion was against that collector, right? So that is why Woodrow Wilson says that, acha, the example which I am telling you, this you can write this in your answer also. Just don't write the name. Remember this. Don't write the name, just write recently in a state we saw this incident. Okay, this is a very good example of filtering public opinion. So Woodrow Wilson says that public opinion is important for democratic control of administration. This is C, democratic control of administration, but not every public opinion may be good. That is why it is the responsibility of administration to filter the views of public opinion. Right, this what I, you have written, okay. But it is necessary that administration should filter the views of public opinion. And the example which I told you, please write, because what will happen if when you are doing revision after 6-7 months, so if example is written, it will be very easy for you to understand. Just write Madhya Pradesh case where a person started shouting on district collector for 4-5 minutes. Then after 4-5 minutes, the collector also started. He lost simply his patience. So in this case, primarily, see, one more thing, this exactly can be asked in the form of case study. In ethics case study, they are asking from examples which we see today. So this same can be asked in the form of ethics in case study, and they will say that your district collector, now what is your response? See, actually this person, I will tell you a little bit in detail. He was saying that he approached MLAs of the district. He approached MPs. Everyone was saying, okay, we will see, okay, we will see. So there is nexus, this and illegal mining is going on. He started shouting on collector. Collector was saying simply, okay, I will see, give me time, I will see, give me time. Then the person started saying that, no, you are also like same, like MLAs and MPs, you are not going to do anything. So this was the complete case. I told you, write this, it will help you in recalling the points when you are doing revision. Okay, written? Right? Number 6, I told you about how Woodrow Wilson was influenced by European administration, and in Europe there was focus on government simply due to one reason, because they were monarchical state, right? So obviously if monarchy is there, so there will be peace, because law and order will be very strictly maintained. That is why government during this time, and we are talking about 1890, this was the era when Woodrow Wilson is writing. It is exactly the year is 1885, because this paper was published in 1886, but he started writing in 1885. 1 year he took for writing this paper. So he says that we can learn from European administration, right? How to run the administration properly. And later on, this concept came to be known as comparativist method of public administration. In short, it is known as comparative public administration, right? And here I told you how you can relate, how you can differentiate Woodrow Wilson with Mahatma Gandhi. Yesterday we covered, I think until here we covered, right? Huh. Okay, so today we will start. See, before starting new topic in every class, before every class we are going to revise what we have studied one day before. Okay? Then only you are going to learn by heart what is public administration, because this is needed in optional. Because what happens in optional? So after 1 year, many things you may forget. Right? That should not be there. Then he argued for separate school for training the administration or civil services, and he was inspired. He has taken this idea from Napoleon. Napoleon. He has taken this idea from Napoleon. Right? Then he also argues that government should administer the resources in the form of trustee. See, until today, on this point, UPSC has not asked any question, but in 10 marker it can come, because Mahatma Gandhi is another thinker who says same thing. Right? Then Woodrow Wilson says that government or administration simply means one thing, that is government in action. Government in action simply means that implementation. And from here came a new branch of public administration, that is called public policy. In public policy, most of our focus is basically on policy implementation, right? Yesterday I told you the main problem in our country is related to what? Implementation of policies. We are having very good policies. That we will develop this country, we will double the income. So the target of doubling the farmers' income was what? There was one policy in 2014 that in 10 years, that is by 2023, the income of farmers will be doubled. Policy was very good. So just tell me, it is after 10 years today we are standing here, whether income of farmer has been doubled or not. No, the situation is more or less same. So where is the problem? Policy implementation, right? That is why Wilson says that, this thing why he is telling? Because during the Industrial Revolution, what were the main problem? Policy implementation in USA. Laws were there, but they were not implemented properly. That is why Woodrow Wilson says that the problem in USA is related to implementation of policy. So when we are studying administration in the form of science, our focus should be on implementation of policy. Okay? So these are the main points which Woodrow Wilson writes in his journal, that is the study of administration. Right? Now we will see criticisms of his work. Criticisms of Woodrow Wilson. हाँ, okay. ठीक है, criticisms of Woodrow Wilson. You have studied that book completely? मतलब कुछ अलग लगा? हम्म 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 यार क्रिटिसिज्म जो है ना वो असल में मतलब हम लोग तुरंत पढ़ लेते हैं, लेकिन तुरंत पढ़ना नहीं चाहिए। क्रिटिसिज्म पढ़ना चाहिए जब आप सब कुछ कंप्लीट कर लें, रियल में समझ में तभी आएगा, है ना। उसके पहले क्रिटिसिज्म समझ में नहीं आएगा, राइट। अच्छा, one thing I will tell you before starting criticism. What is theory? No, that is type of theory. What is theory? If you are trying to say something, for example, let us say I am saying this, that this room density is, simply just for the sake of understanding, I am saying, little bit, you can understand density, volume, these things. I am telling simply that volume of this room is, just for the sake of argument, centimeter cube. ठीक है? This is my opinion. This is my opinion. It may be true, it may not be true. But if I am proving this by experiment or by any method, and that is accepted consensus, by consensus, and everyone is accepting that, then it will be called as theory, right? Then it will be called as theory. Now one thinker is there, he has given one very good idea how in social science theory building happens. Please write this. In UPSC, never they are going to ask this, but if you want to understand public administration or any social science, this you must know. Right? So one thinker is there. Theory समझ में आया? You got very simple. What is theory? If I am proving this by evidence and it is accepted by all, for example, I am saying Charles Darwin gives one theory that is also known as social Darwinism, that there is law of survival of the fittest. I was telling you yesterday. This theory is accepted by everyone because Charles Darwin has proven this. See, what is this exam UPSC? Who will crack this exam? The fittest. Every stage prelims, means yes, 1, 2, 3, 4 optional. You will see, if you do an analysis of the result, you will find one thing. People who are getting selected, they are getting simply more than average marks in 1 or 2 papers. In the rest, they will get average marks. Right? So you don't need to perform best in every paper, just 1 or 2 papers. 2 papers are compulsory. So let us say people are also getting top 100 rank simply by 2 things, interview plus GS4. People are also getting top 100 rank simply by 2 paper, General Studies paper 3 plus optional paper 1. People are also getting selected by essay plus ethics. People are also getting selected by essay plus optional paper 2. People are also getting selected by essay plus interview. है? So in terms of UPSC, this technique is called survival of the fittest, and this should also be your focus. Perform in 2 papers better than everyone. Very good performance. In rest of the remaining papers, simply perform average. Okay. So theory is this. So there is one, I think the name of that person who gave this is Hegel. Hegel gave how theory building happens in social science. Okay? See, this we need to know. Like you were saying na, I am reading criticism but समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Then I got this. Okay? How you need to understand criticism. So let us say a person comes and he gives theory X. Okay? A scholar comes and he gives one theory that is X. So a new scholar will come after some time, and this is how theory has developed in every discipline. So he will criticize this person X, he will criticize his theory. And on the basis of criticism, he will give one new theory that is Y. Then a person Z will come, he will criticize both X as well as Y, and he will simply mix their criticism, or he will simply improve on their ideas, and he will give one new theory that is Z. Okay? So one new person will come and he will criticize Z, and little bit improvement he will argue on Z, the theory of Z, and he will give one new theory that is A. Again a new person will come, he will combine both and he will do criticism and he will give theory B. You are getting this point? So again C, then D, then E, then F. In a reality, in every social science, you will find this method of theory building, and this method is known as dialectic method of theory building. Dialectic means, di means 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Just for the sake of understanding, okay, I will tell you. See, in the last class of paper 1, I will do this. But today, just for the sake of understanding, I am giving you example. In public administration, there is one thinker, his name is Taylor. He gave one theory in public administration. He is from public administration. Acha, no, that Taylor is different from this Taylor. Okay, he is mechanical engineer, this Taylor. Acha, you may have given that. I also am not knowing that. Okay? This person was also very great tennis player. Same person. Acha. Okay. So Taylor gave theory. One theory he gave. Right? What was that theory? We are not going into that. So one person, his work was translated into French. So one person read his theory in French and he criticized his theory and developed a new theory. His name is Henry Fayol. Okay? And after 20 years, one person came, he read both theories, criticized them, done some experiment, in the laboratory and he gave new theory. That new theory is known by very famous name, human relation theory. Okay. After some time, again one thinker came, he read that human relation theory, but this criticism was very less. Acha, sometimes criticisms will not always be developed into new theory. What they will do, they will simply take one or two point and they will say, now this is the real theory. Right? So one person came, his name was Chester Bernard, and he gave theory A, and the theory name is behavioralist theory, or in general it is called human behavior. All are thinkers from public administration. His name is Chester Bernard, very famous name in the field of psychology and public administration. Right? Then again, one new thinker came, B. He simply combined both their ideas, criticized little bit, and then he further developed on their ideas. They came to be known as neo-behavioralist. In public administration, we are going to study some 6 to 7 thinkers. For example, Maslow, McGregor, Hertzberg. See, if you are not understanding much, just understand the main idea what I am trying to tell you. These thinkers we are going to cover in paper 1, everyone. Okay. Further on, some more thinkers came, criticized this, and they told what they are telling is fine, but the main concept, what we are telling is the real concept. That concept is called systems theory. Now tell me, the theory building is what? Dialectic method. So always remember that if you are reading any thinker, always remember who is the other thinker who got inspired from this and developed a new theory. Because why I'm telling you this? Because in public administration, when you are doing answer writing, and you have read also on internet, interlinking the concept is one of the main challenge of every discipline of social science. Why? Because all the scholars, the evaluators in UPSC, they know about this. So they know that interlinking is not a very big thing, because theory development in social science happens only due to this method, and this method is hugely accepted by every scholar. Hegel was a very famous philosopher. He used to work with, I forgot the name, German names are kind of very tough. I can't recall, but he was very famous. Like Narendra Modi is there in politics today. Hegel was like that in Germany. Very big name. He gave this idea, dialectic method of theory building. So remember this whenever we are reading criticism of any thinker. On the basis of that criticism, one new thinker is surely going to come. Okay. So criticisms of Woodrow Wilson. Number 1, Woodrow Wilson says that administration should be studied as a science. Number 1, he says that administration should be studied as a science, but problem is how administration should be studied so that we can develop it in the form of science. That he very clearly failed to write. right? He says that we need to study administration as science. Okay, that is fine, but how we should study? Because in science there are theories, there are some principles. So what are those theories and principles which we need to develop in administration? Woodrow Wilson very clearly failed to give. Number two, see, all the criticisms that I am telling you, UPSC can ask you in the form of this complete question, and what they will say, you need to do an analysis of this. So we are also going to do analysis once we are covering this. Okay. Second, it is said that it is criticized that Woodrow Wilson equated administration as like business. How business? Remember 3E? Huh. Huh. Because if you will run any enterprise with 3E principles, then only you are going to earn profit. And private industry, if profit is not coming, the moment profit is not coming, you are out of the business. You can't survive much. You can't survive much long. Okay. Number three, his idea that politics and administration, their characteristics are different, that is, dichotomy was also rejected during 1940s, and on this I think I have told you enough, right? How this can't be, they can't be equated separately. Then he says that we need to learn from Europe. We need to learn from Europe. We need to learn from Europe that how administration should be run. So he is criticized by scholars that if we are going to learn from Europe, then the basic ethos, the basic democratic principles of USA or democracy will be lost. नहीं, see, after this हो गया, progressive thinker is over. This criticism. See, they were influenced by European, but कोई ऐसा नहीं बोला कि we need to learn from Europe. Because the population was very anti-European. है ना? They all were inspired from Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin was from where? No. हाँ, Europe where? Charles Darwin was from England. है ना? There is one place also, Darwin, in UK today. He was from, they were basically inspired from European thinkers only. That is why you will see that if you will read history, everywhere people will say the most important event of the modern century is what? No, French Revolution. Why? Because French Revolution gave birth to lots of philosophers and scholars in Europe. Then the idea of fundamental right came. Then the idea of liberty came. Right? Then the idea that government is responsible to citizen rather than any king. This idea came. This much impact you will not find of American Revolution. The impact of French Revolution is more than American Revolution all over the world. Even in India also, Indian freedom struggle is very much inspired from French Revolution. Okay? So this everyone was inspired, no doubt in that. And by the way, printing press was discovered only in Europe only. I think in Germany. I may be wrong, but in Europe, that 100% I am sure. Printing press was discovered only in Europe. And see, obviously they will be inspired from Europe. How? Because the population, they may hate European kings, but ultimately they were European. Okay? English as a language was initially, see, the migrants which were coming to USA, the basic problem first they faced was language, because they used to speak what? Irish, Spanish, Portuguese, French, German. Huh. And very less people you will find who migrated from UK. Why? UK was a superpower. You have found anyone is migrating from America to Africa or Asia today? You will not find. But opposite you will, many people will find. है ना? Same case from UK, very less people you will find. Until, see, Woodrow Wilson was from very rich family. है ना? So the people who used to migrate from UK, they used to come, they were already very rich. They usually used to come from some official work. Something like that, big businessman. Huh? The family of Woodrow Wilson was very much connected with government of UK. Church, they were connected with church especially. That is how you are saying na, he was influenced by religion. That is why he was influenced by religion. Basically, his uncle used to work in church in UK, and church in UK is very powerful. Who is the head of church in UK? No. Pope is the head of Roman Catholic. Who is the head of church in UK? From 800 years, the person who is queen or king, he is also head of church. Even today, the king is the head of church in UK. UK has official religion, that is Christianity. India is a what? Secular country. Because our state is not having any religion. But UK is secular. No. It is having a state religion as Christianity, and one of the main function of king or queen as a head of church is to preserve that religion in UK. Right? Here, USA gave one new idea that we are secular. USA is not having any state religion, but that is kind of, मतलब कहने को है, truth is something else. Because all presidents take oath on Bible and Constitution in the name of God. Have you seen any oath of president? Just watch on video, just 1 minute. You will feel like this they are doing. But what is this? From where they developed this? Christianity. And they will lecture who? India. Please do this, please that, do that. But they themselves are not doing that. Anna? See, USA is basically what we say that in Christianity also lots of schools are there. Anna? So US, Germany, Sweden, Norway, I forgot the type of Christianity. They are called this Martin Luther King, Protestant Christian. Protestant Christian basically believes that for reaching God, we don't need any intermediary or father. We can do that by ourselves. You will read same thing in Bhakti movement. Bhakti movement also says same thing. That for reaching to God, why there is need of any intermediary? Hana? It is started from Bhakti movement is started from? No, it is started from where? Tamil Nadu. It is started from Tamil Nadu. Later on, it reached to North, and it became very famous in North because it got assimilated with one new religion that is called Islam. Right? The impact of bhakti on Islam is called Sufism. You will read that, but remember this what I am telling you. In very short, I am telling you, this will help you much. The impact of bhakti in Islam in North India gave birth to Sufism. In Indian context, right? Because in some books it is written that Sufism originated from Iran. In some books they says that it originated from Algeria. But in terms of India, it originated in North India when South plus North, that is Islam plus Bhakti got together, a new religion was born. If not religion, then new practice was born. Okay. Acha, what is the ethos? Okay, what can be the ethos which scholars say was lost if we are adopting the practices of Europe? What were the American ethos? No, no, no. See, when they adopted the constitution, they focused very much on equality, right? Number two, they focused very much on liberty. That, and from liberty only this idea that is fundamental right comes. And fundamental right, this as a concept comes from liberty only. Okay? Then democracy. Then republic. We are not under anyone, under any king. Rather, here people are the real master. Okay? But you can very easily say that this is kind of over reaction. Woodrow Wilson is not telling you to these principles, rather than he's simply saying you to learn from good practices of Europe. Okay? Administration should be studied as a science. See, on this, even today we are trying to develop administration as a science. Later on, if we'll see developments in public administration, this was further elaborated. Even today work is going on this. So he was spot on when he says administration should be studied as a science. This is analysis, right? Number two, equated administration as business like. I told you that is not possible because he himself belonged from progressive era and the thinkers were against the corporate monopoly. Dichotomy, I told you. What else? Okay. Everything is written in your handout. Now come to the impact of Woodrow Wilson. Impact of Woodrow Wilson on public administration. Woodrow Wilson, but in US language you will find they will say Woodrow Wilson. In US, have you you may have heard English of UK and USA. Lots of difference you will find. And we adopted which one? UK. So many times you will feel that the writing is something else, but we are telling something else. In USA, this is followed. Woodrow Wilson. But they will write Woodrow Wilson. That is why If you read his paper, The Study of Administration, hardly you will understand anything what he is trying to say. No use of preposition. What he has written, it is when they will tell, the language will be completely different. है? See, there are many scholars before Woodrow Wilson who tried to study public administration or administration. For example, Cameralist. Cameralist tried to give or study administration even before Woodrow Wilson. Then anyone else? Two names I told you who influenced Woodrow Wilson. So obviously they will also come. Edmund Acha, his name is Walter. Acha, that he was generalist. Then you may have heard about this Arthashastra by Kautilya. It was published during Mauryan times. No. He was not influenced by him. I am saying before Woodrow Wilson, who or some of the scholars who tried to study public administration, who tried to study administration, if not public administration. Then remember one name, very famous name. His name is Frank Goodnow. FRANKGOODNOW. Frank Goodnow. He is also one of the scholars during Woodrow Wilson time who wrote on politics administration dichotomy. He says that Frank Goodnow is the first scholar in history who says that the characteristics of politics is different from characteristics of administration. He is the person who wrote this, and Woodrow Wilson took that idea from Frank Goodnow only. Right? But still, we say that Woodrow Wilson is the father of modern public administration. Why? He wrote one very successfully a book due to the impact which Woodrow Wilson have. This impact for studying public administration or administration as a academic discipline, the same thing we can't find here. No one has written this, that now time has came for studying administration separately in the form of science. Arthashastra don't write these things. Arthashastra is completely different. It simply writes, okay, this is administration, this is one department, this much we need to pay, this is the punishment, king should do this. It doesn't say that we need to study administration as a discipline. And Arthashastra will not say. Why? Because this book is of ancient time. Knowledge there was very limited, not possible. You can ask about Frank Goodnow because he has also written one book, but it doesn't write this, that administration, now time has came for studying it separately. Frank Goodnow simply says that politics and administration, they are different. right? It is the impact of Woodrow Wilson. His ideas were so forceful, right, that it gave birth to one new discipline, that is public administration. In short, it laid the foundation of public administration in USA. Remember this, when I'm telling you all these things, we are talking from the perspective of USA only, right? We are talking from the perspective of USA. Right? Impact, he laid the philosophical foundation or foundations of public administration in USA, right? And what were those? See, what is the meaning of this? Laid the philosophical foundations of public administration in USA. What is the meaning? A separate field of study. So, what are some of the unique things which make administration different, so that now it is time to study, right? This you are not going to find in any book, so please write whatever I am writing, right? These are some of the unique points which later on came to be a factor for developing public administration as a discipline. In short, we says that he laid the philosophical foundation of public administration in USA. Number one, that administration should be non-partisan. What is this non-partisan? What is the meaning of this? And with spoil system, administration was completely partial. They used to work for the president, not for the people. So from the ideas of Woodrow Wilson, on one conclusion in USA, everyone got that administration, now time has came for administration to be impartial and non-partisan. It should work for the people. Number two, administration should be based on merit. And this idea later on, it led to reform in civil services in USA. In USA, Civil Service Commission was established like UPSC, which was responsible for conducting the exam, right, and recruiting people in administration on the basis of merit. Number three, administration must be efficient. Number four, it must be accountable to people. Right? Now tell me, from civil service today or from administration, from your government, any government, from central government, whether you want these things or not. Say central government, ठीक है? You want administration partisan or non-partisan? You want that people should be merit, they should be selected on merit rather than by political appointment. You also want them to work as efficiently. And obviously you also want accountability. ठीक है? This in itself is a revolutionary idea which Woodrow Wilson is writing in what? 1886. This is the impact which Woodrow Wilson had, and due to this only public administration as an activity, write this, due to this impact public administration, okay, as an activity from ancient times got converted into academic discipline in modern times. Academic discipline in modern times. Bracket में write public administration as a separate discipline of social science was born. So Woodrow Wilson is rightly known as father of public write this. So because questions are coming, do you agree with the view that Woodrow Wilson is the father of public administration? ठीक है? And then write one more thing. One or two questions expected in mains every year from this topic. And 5 star on that. One or two mains question expected from this topic every year. 5 star means most important. Okay. So every year if you'll see the paper, question is coming from Woodrow Wilson. So A to Z I have covered everything on Woodrow Wilson. Whatever is in book I have covered, what is not there in book, that I also covered. Woodrow Wilson, see what in UPSC, what UPSC is doing, there is one habit of UPSC. In GS4, they will ask any thinker, but they will not give name. Okay, so since this thinker is completely giving his ideas on administration, so it is high chance that his views can be asked in GS ethics paper, that is ethics, integrity and aptitude. Just UPSC is not writing name. Okay, that is why I also compared him with Gandhi. Right? Now tell me any doubt you are having on Woodrow Wilson, then we'll start a new topic. See, Woodrow Wilson after this, and just listen, don't write. After this, he entered into politics and he completely lost interest in public administration. I said this was it. After this, he never wrote on public administration. No, he entered into politics. See, Woodrow Wilson was a big scholar. Okay, after this, he became professor for 3-4 years in John Hopkins University only. Then he became governor, and then he became president. Today it doesn't stand. Today it is believed that rather than dichotomy, we have politics, administration, cooperation. Just write this. Today it is believed that rather than politics, administration dichotomy, we should have politics, administration, cooperation. Today it is accepted by everyone that politics and administration can't be separate. वो लिखा ना आपने, politics is concerned with policy formulation. That is the most accepted viewpoint today. Anything? कुछ और पूछना, एक बार और देख लीजिए, है ना? Just see that. So I'm having this book, okay? This Prasad and Prasad, Administrative Thinker. What I was telling you yesterday, read this book, but read this book and that handout, right? So you will find that in handout more information is given. Okay, here for example, first they have mentioned about Woodrow Wilson, then they have mentioned the three draft. Three draft means the name which I was telling you. So first he wrote Art of Government, then he changed the name, then at last he came with one final name, that is Study of Administration. Then here it is given Administration and Government, then Administrative Science, then Politics and Administration, Administration and Business, Administration and Public Opinion, right? See, everything is mostly covered in one or two line here. So it will be helpful when you are writing mains, very helpful. These days they are not asking this, but they can ask. This is very simple question. They will ask. They will not write according to, they will write this, then in bracket they usually write the name of thinker. ठीक है? During that time he was telling, see, actually later on he also writes that it is different. मतलब he didn't wrote any general, he wrote one essay. It was a some feminist general, something like that, in 1913 or some 1912. So this is a very controversial idea because he himself many times said that, although he didn't wrote properly, but he says that no, both are same. They are not different. And usually UPSC will not ask very controversial question, but yes, they can ask your opinion. Now, what do you think? So always stand with politics, administration, cooperation. Examples I told you. Ultimately, who's the... See, when we are going to read one chapter, one topic, that is public policy, there this will come again. There, this topic is going to come again and again. Okay, so read from Prasad and Prasad. Okay, should we start next topic? Okay, so just like we are around 1 hour 45 minutes, now just 10-20 minutes we'll cover one topic. So just tell me, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of, what is this? Classical na? What is the meaning of? Have you heard about this classical songs? Very good traditional. No, you in every day you are saying this normative. Normative classical say no relation. That is also kind of close. Accepted by. Okay, good. What else? Earliest. Have you heard this term, classical song? Why you tell that this song is classical? No, no, no. Classical song, what I am telling you, for example, there are some singers like Kishore Kumar, Mohammad Rafi. In Telugu, I am not knowing that. Any singer in 1950s, 60s, 70s. Lata Mangeshkar is also known as, her songs are classical. They are always relevant. Some songs you will listen, they may be very old, but you will feel that very unique thing about that song. Today, no one can reproduce the same thing. After 10 years, 100 years, if someone will listen, he will reach to the same conclusion. That song like this can't be reproduced again. In Tamil, there is one song, Chinna Chinna Asa. You have heard this. Telugu, that is. Telugu. Later on, it was translated into Hindi. One movie came, Roja. That song is what? Classical. Either you hear that song in Telugu, Tamil, Hindi, in any language, you will feel that in Bengali also that song is very good. Huh? Movie name is only one, Roja. Huh? But the song Lata Mangeshkar had sung that song around 12 languages. Same tone, same everything. You will understand everything. And just language is different in every state. That is called classical because that song is always relevant. Right? But in social science, classical originated from economics. Classical originate, this word came first time into picture in economics when one thinker, his name was Adam Smith. Adam Smith, you may have heard his name, very famous thinker. He gave this theory that government should not interfere in market. What is this market? Market means private sector. So he says that if government is not interfering in the private sector, automatically prices will be reduced due to competition. And this idea gave birth to capitalism or capitalist type of economy. You're understanding this? This concept is from economics. First time this word we see in economics. Classical is associated with Adam Smith. He is the first thinker who talked about this, and he gave one idea, and this idea also became very famous. Okay, I think in your handout it is written. You are having handout. So point number 2, why? See, point number 1 we are going to cover. Not today we are going to cover. types of theories in public administration, because there is some printing mistake there. So we are going to cover in some other class. Why classical theories emerged? So first line it is written, origin of from economics means self-regulating market, also means tradition. In administration, early theories are known by this. So what you people are saying, the same thing is written in your notes. Classical is also traditional, and obviously traditional means earlier one. In economics, classical theory was given by Adam Smith, right? So what happened? In every discipline, you will find that the first, right, some thinkers who were the first one to write in that discipline, all those thinkers are mostly known by this name, that is called classical thinkers. Not due to this, but also due to one reason, because their ideas are always relevant. Remember this word, right? Because this word we are going to remember until the last class. The ideas of all the classical thinkers are the earliest one or the first thinkers who contributed in any discipline are always relevant. Okay. So today we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll start from Frederick Wilson Taylor, the first classical thinker of public administration. ठीक है? Okay. Woodrow Wilson is also known as classical thinker, but we often don't use him much. Why? That I'm going to tell you, but not in tomorrow's class, but I will tell you why. Okay. So today we are going to stop here. Tomorrow we are going to cover Frederick Wilson Taylor. So tomorrow is last class of this week. Okay. Tomorrow is Thursday, na? After that we'll meet on Monday. So Monday to Thursday you are having this class. Okay. Today's class is somewhat short, 10 minutes short, 10 or 20 minutes, but Taylor will, I think, take something around 2 classes. And Taylor is very important to understand, because again we are going to see problems of progressive era, because he was also one of the after Taylor we'll jump to some other thinker, but they are not progressive. They were inspired from Taylor. Remember X, Y, Z. That dialectic will start from Taylor. Taylor is one of the earliest thinker. ठीक है? चलो we'll stop here.